January 12th, 1888. Dakota Territory. The morning is warm. That is the whole problem. It has been brutally cold for weeks. Then, on this one morning, the air turns mild and soft. Snow melts off the roofs. The wind drops. So the children walk to the one-room schoolhouses across the plains without their heavy coats. Some of them do not even take their mittens. The teachers do not stop them because the day looks kind. There is no radio. There is no telephone on these farms. There is no forecast that can reach them in time. And out to the northwest, something is coming. It arrives in the afternoon, and it arrives in minutes. The temperature collapses. The air fills with fine, dry snow driven flat by the wind. A man cannot see his own hand. The children start walking home into it. Around 235 people die. Many of them are children. They call it the children's blizzard. And here is the thing about it. The sky gave the signs. There simply was no one left who could read them. Because for most of human history, there was no forecast. There was only the sky, the ground, and a man's own body. And they learned to read all three. These are 15 of the signs they used. Some of them are real science, and they work. Some of them are complete nonsense, and your grandfather swore by them anyway. Number 4 can be done with a stopwatch, and it will tell you the air temperature to within a degree or two. Number 2 is the one he trusted most. It has never once worked. And number 1 is the sign that sailors bet their lives on for 400 years. Subscribe before we start. Number 15. Dew on the morning grass. Walk out at dawn and put your hand in the grass. If it comes back wet, the day will hold fair. If the grass is dry at sunrise, expect rain before dark. This is not folklore. This is physics. Dew forms on a clear, calm, still night. Clear and calm means high pressure sitting over you, and high pressure means fair weather. But if the night was cloudy or windy, the dew never forms. And cloud and wind at night mean a system is already moving in. The absence of the dew is the warning. Number 14. The salt, the rope, and the door. The old house told you the weather before the sky did. A hemp rope on the wall goes slack and heavy. The wooden door that closed cleanly all summer suddenly sticks in its frame. Every one of these is measuring the same thing. Humidity. Salt pulls water straight out of the air. The whole house was one big instrument, and the farmer knew how to read it. Number 13. The pine cone. Pick one up off the ground and look at it. If the scales are open wide, the air is dry and the weather is fair. If they have closed up tight, moisture is on the way. The scales are hygroscopic. They physically absorb water out of the air and swell shut. They dry out and spring back open. The old-timers nailed one beside the barn door and read it every morning. Number 12. Watch the smoke. Leave the chimney. Smoke that climbs straight up and keeps climbing means the weather will hold. Smoke that flattens out, curls back down, and crawls along the ground means rain. Under high pressure, the air is dense and heavy near the ground. Under low pressure, there is nothing holding the smoke up. It sinks and hangs and drifts across the yard. Every farmer with a stove and a chimney had a barometer he did not have to buy. Number 11. The day sound carries too far. Some mornings you can hear a train from 10 miles off. You can hear the neighbor's dog, the church bell, a wagon on a road you cannot even see. The old-timers said, "When you can hear too much, rain is coming." They were right, and here is why. Before a storm, a layer of warm air settles over the cooler air near the ground. Sound waves that would normally escape upward bounce off that layer. They are bent back down toward the earth, and they travel much farther. The world gets strangely loud and strangely close. And that is the storm announcing itself before you can see it. Number 10. The smell of the coming rain. Everyone knows this smell. Almost nobody knows what it is. Before rain, the ground and the plants start giving up their scent. Plants release oils. The soil releases a compound made by the bacteria living in it. You smell the earth, the manure, the woods, the ditch, all of it, stronger than yesterday. There is a name for it now, petrichor. Your grandfather did not have the word. He just walked outside, breathed in, and went to get the hay in. Number 9. When the leaves show their backs. On an ordinary day, the leaves on a tree all lie the same way. But before a storm, the wind swings around and comes from an unfamiliar direction. It pushes the leaves backward on their stems, and suddenly the whole tree turns pale and silver because you are seeing the undersides. Maples and poplars do it most. The trees turning silver meant get to cover. Number 8. Birds flying low. Swallows skimming right across the field. Swifts hugging the ground. And it is true, but not for the reason people think. The birds are not predicting anything. They are following the insects. When pressure falls and the air gets heavy and damp, the insects cannot climb. They stay down near the ground, and the birds come down after them. The birds are reading the weather with their stomachs. Number 7. The ache in the old wound. Every farm had a man who could feel the weather in his bones. The knee he broke 20 years ago. The shoulder. The knuckles. A day before the rain, they would start to ache, and he would say so, and he was usually right. This one is not superstition either. When a storm approaches, the air pressure around you drops. There is less weight of air pushing down on the body. Tissue inside old joints and old injuries can swell very slightly against that lower pressure. The men who had been hurt the most made the best forecasters. Number 6. When the wind swings around to the east. In this country, weather travels from west to east, so the wind on your face usually comes out of the west. But when the wind backs around and starts blowing from the east, something has changed. A low-pressure system is moving in, and you are on the wrong side of it. That is what an east wind on the plains means. Wind from the east, rain in the least. The farmers watch the weather vane the way we watch a phone. Number 5. Red sky at morning. Red sky at night, sailor's delight. Red sky at morning, sailor take warning. It is the oldest weather rhyme in the English language, and it holds up. At sunrise and sunset, the light comes to you sideways through a long stretch of atmosphere. Dust and dry air scatter that light red. So a red sunset means the dry, settled air is out to the west, and the west is where your weather comes from. It is coming toward you. Fair weather ahead. But a red sunrise means that dry air has already passed over you and gone east. What is behind it, coming your way, is the wet. Sailors bet their ships on it. Farmers bet their harvest. Number 4. The cricket is a thermometer. This is the one you can test tonight, and it is almost unbelievable. Go outside on a summer evening and find a cricket chirping. Count the chirps for 14 seconds. Then add 40. That number is the air temperature in Fahrenheit. A cricket is cold-blooded. The chemical reactions in its muscles run faster when it is warm and slower when it is cold. So the rate it chirps is a direct readout of the temperature of the air around it. A physicist wrote this down and published it in 1897. The farmers had known it for generations. Number 3. The ring around the moon. If there is a wide, pale ring circling the moon, rain or snow is usually coming within a day or two. The ring is not around the moon at all. It is in the sky, miles above you. A thin sheet of ice crystals has slid in overhead, far too high to look like a cloud. The moonlight passes through those crystals and it bends into a ring. And that sheet of ice is the leading edge of an approaching warm front. But it has just sent its calling card. Get the stock in. Get the wood in. Number 2. The woolly bear and the persimmon seed. Now we come to the one your grandfather believed most. Every autumn, people find the woolly bear caterpillar, the fuzzy one with the black ends and the rusty band in the middle. And the saying is that the wider the rusty band, the milder the winter will be. Others split a persimmon seed and look at the shape inside. A spoon shape means heavy snow to shovel. A knife means cutting winds. These are wonderful. And they are nonsense. A scientist spent years collecting woolly bears and measuring their bands. The band width tells you how old the caterpillar is and how wet the season it just lived through was. It is a record of the weather that already happened. It knows nothing whatsoever about the winter ahead. And that is the honest truth about old weather wisdom. Some of it was 200 years of careful observation, and some of it was a story people told each other because the winter was frightening and they wanted to know. Number 1. Mare's tails and mackerel scales. This is the sign the sailors bet their lives on. First, high up, you see long white streaks pulled across the sky like horses' tails. Then, hours later, the sky fills with small rippled patches of cloud, row on row, like the scales on a fish. Mare's tails and mackerel scales make tall ships carry low sails. A warm front is sliding in, and it announces itself from the top down. The mare's tails are ice crystals at the very front edge of it, 30,000 feet up. The mackerel scales are the layer beneath, arriving behind them. The cloud is thickening and lowering, hour by hour, right over your head. And when it finally reaches the ground, it rains. A man watching this sequence could tell you rain was coming a full day before a single drop fell. No instruments, no forecast, just his eyes and the sky. On the 12th of January, 1888, the sky over Dakota was giving every one of these signs. The high cloud, the falling pressure, the wind swinging around, the warm morning that made no sense in the middle of a killing winter. The people who could read it are the reason anyone survived at all. We have forecasts now, and they are very good, and that is a genuinely good thing. But we have also handed the entire sky over to a screen in our pocket. And there is something worth keeping in a man who can walk outside, look up, smell the air, and know the sky is still talking. We just stopped listening. If you want more of what America used to know, subscribe. We are digging it back out, one skill at a time.